from parts unknown. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation or around the world. This is Paul's Pier Six Brawl, part of the Squared Circle Wrestle Launch network of podcasts. Over the weekend, we had kind of a bit of a shock. Quietly on a Saturday, late morning, early afternoon, the internet erupted with the news of the New Day leaving WWE. It's shocking because of their tenure, how long they were there. One of the top tag teams of this era. But shocking because it comes after the main set of releases that came right after WrestleMania. Shocking that it came on a Saturday. Usually stuff like that leaks out Friday afternoons after the stock market had closed. So for it to come on a Saturday was kind of strange. At first, when we saw it, didn't believe it. I went and confirmed on PW Insider. Mike Johnson reported it as well. It just I think we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled by the fact that WWE was a family-run business for so long. And while releases took place and people left and for various reasons, it wasn't so soulless and corporate kind of a thing. We still considered WWE a family company even after they went public because of the family was the one running it. It was also a weird day because announced at about the same time there were some behind the scenes cuts that names you probably won't recognize. There was a Gavin O'Shea. He had been with the company for 25 years. He was the director of TV production. Michelle Carlucci, who had been with the company for 36 years. She was director of production travel. And Jason Robinson, been with the company for 23 years, was a production designer. So all of those things are kind of important behind the scenes positions. Been there for a long time. And it just goes to show you that in this day and age, there is no longevity, there is no loyalty with companies. There was, 86 years worth of experience let go and just one swoop. We don't need you anymore. See ya. The New Day had been there for quite a while as well. Kofi Kingston had been with the company since 2006 when he signed his developmental deal. So he had been there for 20 years, including developmental. Xavier Woods has been in the wrestling business for over 20 years. Signed with WWE in 2010. So 20-year runs for both of them just gone because of TKO and its corporate greed. So I got to thinking about it. and fired up a little Google, looked up TKO and what they made last year as a company. For the entire year of 2025, TKO made $4.735 billion. That's billion with a B, folks. WWE generated $1.709 billion of that money. And it seemed to help them out as an overall company for the year because of that. And then I decided to dig a little further. And I wanted to look at a few key figures within TKO. Started with the CEO, Ari Emanuel. For the year 2025, his compensation was $67.4 million. Now you have to break that down a little bit. That's not all salary. His salary was $3 million plus $11.9 million in bonuses and $43.9 million in stock. Then there's Mark Shapiro. He is the president and COO of TKO. He made a mere $42 million for last year, 42.6 to be exact. $4 million of that was his salary, which I did find funny that he makes more in salary as the president and COO than the CEO. But okay. He made $12.5 million in bonuses, and he got a $25.8 million worth of stock. Then we come to Nick Khan, the business part of WWE. He is the WWE president, and he is a board member of TKO. He made a mere $24.3 million last year. Of that was his $2 million salary, his $10.75 million bonus, and his $11.5 million in stock. Then another interesting little fact popped up. Our old buddy Dwayne, The Rock Johnson. He is listed as a director of TKO. He received a $30 million stock award, plus $900,000 in royalties, and another $600,000 in expense reimbursements. Also, Ari, back to the top of the food chain, also received $365,000 for personal use of private aircraft. I was in business, retail mostly, most of my adult life. So I understand you're in a business to make money. And you're not always going to make people happy. And it's not always fair how much the higher ups make than the actual people that make the company run. So I think that's why it makes it such a slap in the face of especially the ones behind the scenes. I'm probably sure that they thought that, they've been there a long time and nothing was going to happen to them because they did their work, they did a good job. And to one day just say, hey, see ya. Because we're padding what our revenue is and what our profit is for the company. We're doing best for what's best for the company. You got to balance what's best for the company versus what's best for the people that make the company run. Just my opinion. But back to the New Day for a second. It's just funny how there was a story from crediting Brian Alvarez that the New Day had just signed a new deal last year that would have kept them in WWE until 2030. Now, this is under TKO's watch that they got this new deal. So why all of a sudden this year, TKO goes to WWE and says, hey, I need you to go talk to these New Day guys, and we need them to restructure their contracts. New Day listened, looked at the numbers, said, no, thank you. We'll be leaving now. I don't blame them for doing so. Good for them for standing up for what they feel their worth is. But at the same time, it makes me afraid. Afraid for this company that I've watched ever since I was a young lad. I was scared when I first heard of Vince wanting to sell the company. Hell, before that, I was always scared what would happen when Vince was gone, if he passed away while he was still running it. But at that point, Stephanie was still entrenched. Shane was in and out. Triple H, we know for years, has been learning the business side of the business to put himself in position where he is today. So I thought, something happens to Vince, things will just keep going on. And then I got even more scared, like I said, when Vince decided he was wanting to sell the company. Then all of Vince's legal issues started to pop up, and Vince disappeared. And things went on. Then Vince forced his way back into the company by saying, if you try to sell, I'm still the majority stockholder. I'll block any sale you guys come up with. Forced his way back into the company, put other people back on the board that were yes men to him, and facilitated the sale to Endeavor, which then became TKO. I think we're in a new era, as Triple H likes to say, of the decline of WWE. I've never been a big fan of MMA, but I heard when Endeavor still owns UFC, that they had ruined the product. I think we're now seeing the same thing happening in front of our very eyes to WWE. TKO is just slowly hurting this business that we all love. And it's a damn shame. And at this point, it's going to be really difficult to recover from it, if they ever do. Personally, I'd like to see TKO decide to sell. But then, what's the lesser of two evils? Who says whoever takes over next wouldn't make things worse? I think it's also sad just to see the downfall so quickly from when Vince got ousted the second time and Triple H and Nick Khan took over fully, how everything just clicked and everything made sense, to where now everything seems to be falling apart. The wheels are coming off the wagon, so to speak. And it's just a damn shame. So, promise to make this short. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Are we going to lose more superstars? How are they going to continue to reload if they lose these superstars? We'll see. Make sure you please like, comment, subscribe to the pod so you get notified whenever any of us make our little videos. And the main podcast, of course, as well. Hopefully I'll be able to join with all three of my brothers, or two of my brothers and myself, I should say. The three-man band gets together this week to do a show for y'all. And we will see you soon.